last episode saw us arriving into our winter berth of Almerimar, somewhat jaded and happy to be stopped after a season where once again we had travelled too many miles. This time join us to explore some of stunning Andalusia before we begin our first ever winter sail in the Med, bound for Gibraltar. This is Intrepid Bear, a 40-foot sailboat off to explore the world with her crew Ian and Kate.
Come aboard and let's see what's out there.
The first order of business, and just what the doctor ordered to wind down, was a road trip to discover some of the beauty of southern Spain. This quaint hillside town is Comares. After a week away, staying with friends in their beautiful villa, which overlooked a reservoir and some stunning Spanish scenery, we returned refreshed to the boat in Almerimar to crack on with some winter projects.
So I've been busy doing some more work on the deck. Where the teak wears away, the screw heads pop out the top, and that can let water get in under the deck and into the subdeck, which is not good. So what I've been doing is taking out every screw and replace it and putting a new plug in. So the process is take the screw out. If there's a teak bung that looks like it's about to fall out, it's just a float left, flick it out. Take the screw out, drill the hole deeper if you've got enough wood left to do it, which we have luckily on Intrepid Bear. Drill the hole deeper. I've been putting the screws back in, so put a little bit of silicone sealant on it, screw back in, so that's then sealed the screw so it can't leak even if the water gets through the bung. Then put some glue on the bung, tap the bung in on top of it, and then we cut off the head of the bung and sand it all flat once we're finished.
One of the drawbacks of the cruising lifestyle in the summer is that unless you have plenty of money for marinas, it's very difficult to leave the boat and go and explore inland. So alongside the sunshine and clear waters of the summer, some of our favourite times are also our winter road trips, when the boat is already tucked up in a marina for several months. This stunning village near the snowline in the Sierra Nevada mountains of Spain is Capilera. We visited on our way to one of the provincial capital cities of Andalusia. We've come to Granada city. It's a big city in Spain, and yeah, it's a really nice vibe actually. Sort of outdoor cafe culture everywhere. It's a little bit chilly, so a lot of them are behind plastic windows, and this is the central square, meant to be the most relaxing place in the city, with its fountain and greenery and nice cafes all around. But that's a nice little, not a big city fan, but Granada looks quite nice. So the main thing, or one of the big tourist attractions in Granada, is the Alhambra Palace, which is this up the top here. But we'll go and check that out properly tomorrow. There's all sorts of palaces and ancient churches and things.
We might just plan the trips. To be honest, I don't know much about the Alhambra except it is a palace, but for more than the tickets, there's a lot there. So yeah, we'll let you know tomorrow.
Kate will tell you all about it tomorrow. The Alhambra is a palace and fortress complex set on a hill overlooking Granada. Its origins date back to the region's Islamic times, and the complex was started in the year 1238. It has been altered and added to repeatedly over the years as different rulers have come and gone, but remains an incredible sight and is one of the most famous monuments of Islamic architecture in the world. This is the Palace of Nazaré. The carving details. The detail of the carving is incredible, so precise. They must have done that all by hand, I imagine. None of the machine repeating it over and over, so it's pretty incredible. That down there is where we were just now, and then this one is called the Alcazba.
It's the oldest one.
It's the oldest one, apparently. If fascinating old buildings are your thing, you could easily spend a day wandering around all the palaces of the Alhambra. So I can only really give you a taster of it in this video. One building that struck me though was the Palace of King Charles V of Spain. The palace struck me as unusual for its rectangular outer shell, contrasted with a circular courtyard that was reminiscent of a Roman Colosseum. It didn't feel like the same building inside and out. So, just before we wrap up this road trip and get back to the boat, on our way back from Granada, Kate had found a rather impressive hiking trail. It started off like any old trail with a pretty stream running through it, but became something rather spectacular. But this morning we are on a little walk from the town of Monaghill on a little walk called Los Cojoras. Excuse the pronunciation, but I'll put it on the screen. But it's a nice little valley. There's meant to be suspension bridges and stuff.
Don't bounce it.
I'm walking!
Sorry.
Just walking, darling.
Yeah, going across the bridge and I had a real moment. I was fine, I looked down and had a real fear and my stomach just took me right back to being stuck on that zip line. I was thinking I'm just trusting that everything here will be safe, same as I did in Montenegro, and then realised that not me.
And then we're right in a gorge now, which is pretty incredible. Apparently somewhere along here there are bits you've got to sort of crawl along the side of the river to get under the overhangs. So we'll see how we get on. But this is pretty awesome. So super cool. It does carry on and on, but we're due to have the car back by 6 o'clock this evening.
Pretty hard for me because I'm always let's just look at the next corner, and usually it's worth it. And there's a corner there and I have to leave it.
Yeah, I want to go round, but we are running out of time, so
Yeah.
we'll head back. We've seen some good stuff. We've done the suspension bridges and the underhangs, overhangs that we were looking for, excited about. So we've done a good. We've seen it. We'll head back. It was now the end of December. We had enjoyed Christmas with multinational friends in an Irish bar in Spain. Everywhere has an Irish bar, right? We now needed to move out of the Schengen zone in order to build up our Schengen time ready for the trip north in the spring. So it was time to set sail to Gibraltar. But first of all we had to put the Genoa back on. We had removed it and covered the mainsail due to a high risk of red rain in this part of the world. So it's 7:30 in the morning. We're not on a tight deadline, but we want to get going by about 8, so just getting dressed up. It is 27th of December, so it's not going to be super warm outside, but certainly a lot warmer than the UK, so it's going to be long trousers and probably jackets to start with. Should be about a 24-hour passage. We should arrive sometime around midday on Thursday, hopefully. Got a lot of wind. Forecast is gusting up to 10 or 12 knots at times, but the base wind is quite low, so we're expecting to motor quite a bit of the way. This is actually the first time that we've been sort of cruising in the winter in the Mediterranean. This is the middle of winter, but winter in southern Spain is a very relative term. It's not exactly like winter in the UK or northern Europe, so it'll probably be like a nice spring day in the UK. At the moment it's pretty flat outside, I can't hear any wind at all. So I've got a little bit of daylight now. What have we got? It's 8:29 on our way. There is a little bit more wind than I expected. I expected it to be glassy, so, you know, a little bit of promise. ETA is about 9:30 tomorrow morning at this speed. As long as we're in sometime before 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, that's when the tide will turn against us. Yeah, all good, underway. It does feel weird to be back at sea. It was like slight nerves, even though we've only been in for 3 months. We've had the engine, some major work on the engine done while we were in there, and this is the first proper test. So let's hope that's all been done right. It's always just those pre-departure nerves, but
it's all good. The engine, if anything, it sounds smoother than before because we had the injector pump all done and the tappets because we had a problem with that. So it sounds good. Right. What do you want to do about watches?
These 3 hours, you think?
Yes, do that.
Because it's only 24 hours. I mean, luckily night passages should be more to do because we're going to be into the Pacific Sea.
Yeah, that'll hopefully keep us awake.
Yeah.
That was actually a very condensed version of the discussion about which watch system to use. On multi-day passages we normally have 4-hour watches, but if it is just one night then we tend more towards 3 hours, otherwise one person ends up on watch longer than the other.
So when we were setting up the boat yesterday, we forgot to put the jack stays on. Jack stays are these things over here, and they're basically the webbing straps that go the length of the deck for clipping onto. So when you're wearing a harness, you can clip onto them, and if you slip and fall while you're on deck, they should keep you on the boat, hopefully. Certainly keep you attached to the boat. So I'm going to just go and put them on now because it's so flat. We remembered last night, but we knew it'd be flat today, so we didn't really have time. So going to go and fit them now. Not a lot of wind, but our apparent wind is at a sailable angle. So what I'm going to do, it is a bit fluky and Kate's going down for her off watch, so rather than mess around with the mainsail, I'm just going to put the head sail out. As we bimble along, it won't mean turning the engine off, but it might just give us a little bit of a boost, or we can drop the revs a bit just to save some fuel and maintain the speed. So yeah, I'm going to put up the head sail.
This may not seem like ideal sailing weather due to the lack of wind. We knew we'd be under engine for much of the trip, but this was the only forecast gap in the seemingly incessant westerly winds that had been blowing. I'll take the engine on a flat sea over smashing into a headwind any day.
So yeah, very little boost, but also very little wind, so as I expected really. As I say, we're not turning the engine off, nowhere near turning the engine off, but it is giving us a little bit of drive. It's just pushing us on a little bit faster, so every little helps, as they say. My eyes are streaming a bit in the fresh wind, but anyway, I don't know if you can see on the hills over there, my camera won't capture it very well, but there is a little bit of snow on top of the Sierra Nevada mountains.
So there we are, motor sailing across a flat, calm Alboran Sea. Please do join us next time for the Season 3 finale. We'll complete this voyage, see what we got up to in Gibraltar for 3 months, and if you thought Los Cojones was an awesome hike, wait until you see the Caminito del Rey. Thanks for watching and see you next time.